Good morning, Texoma, and thanks for joining us. This morning we are taking an inside look at the Rainbow House here in Wichita Falls. It is an organization that truly helps hundreds, thousands of kiddos in our area. And joining me now with the very latest is the Executive Director, Terry Jackson. Terry, thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
What is Rainbow House?
Well, Rainbow House is a 3,000 square foot emergency resource center. We provide 24-hour access to CPS caseworkers to help the abused and neglected children in Wichita, Archer, and Clay counties. We have everything from food, car seats, beds, clothing, cleaning supplies, hygiene products, diapers and wipes, everything it takes to raise a kid from birth to 18. When the caseworkers go out to investigate a home at 11 o'clock at night and the home is really dirty or there's no food in the house, they're required by law to remove the children. But if they can come to Rainbow House and get cleaning supplies and food, they don't have to separate families just because they're having a hard time economically.
Sure.
A lot of times struggling parents are on food stamps. Well, food stamps buys food. It doesn't buy cleaning supplies. It doesn't buy diapers and wipes or laundry detergent or anything like that. And, you know, there might be a complaint from the school because the kids are going to school with dirty clothes on.
Right.
Well, you know, mom's struggling and you know, either buy food or buy the other things. And if she can't afford that, she needs somewhere to go to get help. So we don't want to separate families. Our goal is to keep the families together.
Absolutely.
If they're being removed from a drug house, which is often the case, everything in that house is contaminated, even including the children themselves and the clothes they're wearing, so they can't take anything from that house. Can you imagine leaving your house not being able to take even your favorite Barbie or your favorite outfit or anything you own with you?
Yeah, that's hard on these children.
Yes,
so
it is.
That's where, of course, the Rainbow House comes into play, not only to help out these children, but also the people who have stepped in to, of course, help take care of them.
Yes. We also provide things for caseworkers called a car care kit. For instance, when they do go to the drug houses and have to remove these children and their things that are contaminated, we provide them with vinyl sheets to cover their cars so their own children don't get contaminated or lice from kids that are infested.
Sure.
Or, you know, to keep their car clean in case the kid's sick. There's also things like lice spray and emergency first aid things, baggies to put their contaminated clothing in. I mean, flashlights, because a lot of the houses they go into are dark. I mean, just all kinds of things we provide there.
Now, the Rainbow House has been around since 1996 and was created by the Wichita County Welfare Board. I want to just get into the need and what really brought this about. Was it just people who got together and said, hey, we need some help to make this happen?
Well, the Child Welfare Board saw that these caseworkers that are going out into these homes, the state of Texas doesn't provide a lot of money, of course, and the money that they're able to provide gets less each year. Well, caseworkers were going into their own pockets to buy things like diapers and bread and sandwich meat and just whatever they needed so they didn't have to remove these kids. Well, they don't make a lot of money either. And the Child Welfare Board just saw a big need to keep some items on hand so that the caseworkers could have access to that and not spend their own wages on it.
The Rainbow House, it's in Wichita Falls. Who would be coming?
Caseworkers are usually the ones to come and get the things that are needed, and sometimes they bring families or children with them to help pick out the clothing. But generally, you know, that's not the case. Just sometimes, especially with teenagers, because they really like to have a say in what they're doing. But as far as donations go, I mean, you can either come straight to Rainbow House or call ahead and we can arrange a time to be there. So, because we're staffed by me, the one paid employee, and volunteers.
Wow.
Yes.
Makes it all happen. So we're going to get much more into the Rainbow House, how you can help. Also, how Terry got involved and kind of her story behind this and how it's already changing so many lives and families right here in Texoma. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Inside Texoma. Once again, we're taking an inside look at the Rainbow House right here in Wichita County. It's a nonprofit organization that services 3 different counties in Texoma, helping, of course, lots of children and their families. Now, the Rainbow House works through CPS, as you were telling us, works with CPS.
Yes.
Of course, to provide clothing, food, you name it, basically, it's provided. Anything you said it takes to raise a child from birth to 18. I love that.
Right.
That's a lot of different things. I want to talk, Terry, though, about how it's changing lives through more than just maybe clothes or, specific items, because this is keeping families together or maybe helping them in sad transitions.
Sure. We have a lot of transitions, like you say. So many times, even over the last 4 years, we'll have 4 or 5 kids getting placed with their grandmother in the middle of the night who's on a fixed income and living in a 2-bedroom house. So how do you put 4 kids in a 2-bedroom house? Yeah. Bunk beds. Get 2 sets of bunk beds in one room, and then plastic drawers to use for dressers. And then mattresses and all kinds of linens. Because Grandma doesn't have all this stuff. She needs food, she needs clothes and shoes and car seats and cleaning supplies and toothbrushes and toothpaste and shampoo. Everything. They need everything, basically, to do a transition, but at least the kid gets to stay with somebody who cares about them and doesn't have to go to foster care or like the children's home or another facility.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you ever able, because you're not on scene, correct?
Correct.
If they're removing the children, but what do you hear? You're talking to these CPS workers face to face. Can you tell that this organization is making a difference in the lives in our community?
Absolutely it does. When you have a child, having to go transitioning from one place to another, carrying the few things they have in a garbage bag, they feel awful about themselves. But if you let them come down and give them a nice stuffed tote bag with all the clothes they've picked out and some toys and school supplies and whatever else, they leave with a smile on their face. I got to take 50 kids to get shoes over the last few weeks, and I tell you what, that is one of the most wonderful things I've ever gotten to experience, just the look of joy on their faces as they got to pick out their own shoes and socks and wanted to give me a hug because they were so happy to have something new for maybe the first time in their lives.
It's something so small, but you just don't realize if you don't have it, maybe it's taken for granted a lot of times.
A lot of these kids have never had a new pair of shoes. So, it does make a big difference in their self-esteem and the way they're treated by other children.
Absolutely. And how do you make this all happen, Terry? I know we're going to get a little bit more into donations, but how is this possible? Is it donations, grants? What is this nonprofit run on?
This nonprofit is run totally on community donations, fundraisers, and grant writing. It's totally nonprofit. We don't get designated funds from anybody.
Wow. Well, I want to talk about your role in this, and why do you do what you do every single day?
Well, we'd have to go back a long ways, but let's just say that I, too, was a victim of child abuse, so it's something that I'm very passionate about. I used to be, I've been a member of Bikers Against Child Abuse for 10 years. I just retired a couple of weeks ago, but as a member of Bikers Against Child Abuse, I was invited to serve on the Rainbow House Committee. So I was on that committee for it was Community Partners of North Texas Committee to oversee Rainbow House, and I was on that committee for 6 years. And then at the end of the 6 years, they saw a need that they really needed a director. So I was asked to be the director, and I'm going on my almost 4 years there now.
Wow. So this really hits close to home for you.
Yes, it does. And as long as there's a need, as long as there's children being abused, there will be a need for what we do. Over the last 4 years, we've averaged providing services from anywhere from 1,200 to almost 1,500 kids each year. So.
Wow.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking that there are so many that need services,
and that's our community, our backyard. We're seeing this
Wichita, Archer, and Clay. Yes, yes, and and you think about each of those children needing 3 outfits and underwear and socks and shoes and coats and pajamas. it doesn't seem like much individually, but multiply that times 1,500, and that's a lot of resources going in and out.
That's a lot of children. Is the number growing? I mean, you've been with this organization a long time.
There are some years, 2 years ago was actually the most that we had when this economic downturn started really bad. It's still very high. We provided services to almost 1,300 children last year. So yes, I mean, I may not have quite as many children as I had a couple of years ago, but their needs are far greater. They're more expensive, and they're needing more big things like car seats and beds and stuff like that, to have a place to sleep.
What seems to be the biggest thing that you see coming from the CPS workers? Is it children being removed from maybe a drug home or an abusive situation, or is the economy to blame? I mean, is it all of it? Is there one that sticks out more?
It's all of that, but by far the largest amount is from drug homes.
Really?
Yes. Wichita Falls and the surrounding area has a lot of cases, but that's because our community awareness is so much better than probably the rest of the state. We have a lot of concerned citizens here, and when they see something going on, they report it a lot more often than in other counties.
So in a way, those numbers, although you hate to see and hear that of any child, you do like the awareness part, right? I mean,
yes.
It's helping those children.
Yes, I'm going to say, I mean, we probably have, in Wichita County last year, we had more reported cases than anywhere else in the state, but it's because we have a better educated public than anywhere else in the state.
All right, well, hopefully help put an end to some of this,
yes.
then, and those numbers can continue to drop. But again, this is being provided for families and children in our area, and Terry, we, of course, appreciate all that you do. You're the only one who actually receives a paycheck from making all of this happen, correct? It's volunteers that help you make this
Yes,
work.
And let me say that none of the money that we raise in fundraisers or donations goes to my paycheck either. I write grants to get that money, so none of the public donations goes to pay for my salary.
Wow, it's definitely neat to hear every dollar really helps the children right here then.
Absolutely.
We're going to get into that much more on how you can give. She talked a lot about fundraisers, a big one coming up, and it's going to be a fun, busy day, I'll tell you that right now. And it's all coming up March 16th, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with all the details. Welcome back to Inside Texoma. Once again, we're taking an inside look at the Rainbow House, and Executive Director Terry Jackson is sharing with us, of course, everything that goes into making this nonprofit work and reach so many kids. And you said the number was about 12 to 1,500.
Yes.
So that's a lot of children and families here in our area. Now, donations, grants, you said, but the community support is what makes this run every single day.
Absolutely. It is the biggest thing. We are so dependent on the generosity of our community. We love for them to have baby showers. They have baby showers for diapers and wipes and baby shampoos and things like that, or cleaning supply drive, or a blue jean drive, or, I mean, just we have a big list at Rainbow House. We can give you all kinds of ideas of what to give if you don't want to give money. I mean, we even take furniture. We do lots of stuff.
I love that. What are some of the biggest needs that you have?
Cleaning supplies.
Cleaning supplies.
Cleaning supplies, buckets and mops and brooms and trash bags, sponges, pine sol, everything you need to clean your own home, we need too.
Really?
Yes.
And you don't think about that sometimes.
But yes, I mean, that's one of the biggest needs with economically stressed families, or, like I said, just something we can use to keep families together is being able to help them keep their house clean so those babies have a safe environment to live in.
Whenever it comes to clothes or furniture, is there a particular size that you always seem to need more of, or does it just vary?
The ones that we go through the most, of course, are newborn and infant to 18 months, and then sizes 4 through 12. We do use other sizes like that, but we go through more of those than anything. And we'd like to get new clothes for those, unless it's an infant that's clothing that's been worn twice. Those still look brand new. or jeans if they don't have holes in them, because I mean, kids prefer to wear jeans that look like they've been around a while. So
Yeah, that's true. But that's a good point about the infants. Sometimes, you know, if your baby was maybe smaller or larger and they didn't get to wear it or only wore it once or twice.
yeah, I mean,
some of them maybe still have the tags on them. Those are the perfect
exactly.
items.
Yes. We just don't want to give out anything stained, because we want these kids to be able to feel good about themselves.
Sure,
so
the
we want them to
best.
feel like they're getting something brand new. We always need pajamas. That seems to be the things we can't keep in stock the most, is pajamas.
And all ages
All
again?
ages and
All
sizes.
sizes, I
Yes, we are really out of the larger children's sizes from, say, 12 and up. I mean, we need them in all sizes, but from 12 and up, we don't seem to get many donations of those. So.
And what about furniture? There's specific things. You mentioned bunk beds earlier.
Yes, we need, unfortunately, I need to be able to give out brand new ones.
Okay.
So I don't care where you bought them, or I mean, they need to be new. You can even give us like a gift certificate, or we'll go pick it up, but just
Sure.
whatever we need to do. But that is one of our larger ticket items. That and pack and plays, the little play
Yes.
yards. A lot of times when infants don't have a bed, we will give them that, because they're so much less expensive than cribs, and they can stay in them a lot longer than a crib.
Yes. And do those need to be new as well?
Yes, I'm not allowed to give out anything that's not new for furniture-wise
Sure.
for children, because they might be subject to defects or recalls.
Sure. So whenever it comes to the used items, it's mainly going to be the clothing, correct? But
Very gently, yes.
very gently used clothing.
But, you know, we can also take used dishes and stuff like that. A lot of times these
Okay.
families don't have dishes, so, or linens. We can take those used too.
What about toys?
Yes, as long as they're clean. We have a lot of well-meaning people that bring us in really dirty toys, and it's like, I wouldn't want to give these to my kids.
Right.
Would you want to give them to yours?
So those are just things to think about before you
Yes.
come. But of course, those donations are needed. Where do they need to bring them? And are there certain days that are better to do so?
We are there Monday through Friday, generally from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. or a little bit longer. If you can't get in between those hours, just call me at 322-7803, and we can make arrangements for a time to be there or pick up.
Now, Terry, I know you do a lot of this on your own, of course, with volunteers. So if someone's not able to give this way by helping to donate, what about their time? Is that something you're looking for?
We definitely need volunteers. That's something we're always looking for, and you need to be able to pass a state of Texas background check. Just contact me and we can get that filled out, because sometimes there are children around and they have to be able to pass a background check to volunteer at Rainbow House.
Of course, I'm sure monetary donations always welcome too.
Very welcome. Very, very welcome. We can always use those. We have an Adopt a Caseworker program where people can adopt a certain caseworker, and she can have access to funds to use for things like school jackets or rings or licenses, so mom can go get a job, or a doctor's appointment, just things that we can't keep on hand there at Rainbow House. So
Adopt a caseworker. I
Yes.
like that. There's so many ways it sounds like that you can get involved.
yes, there are. And I mean, if you need some ideas, call me.
She will help you figure out the best fit, right? And real quickly, the location, one more time, you had said the phone number, but the location in case they are interested in dropping these items
We're
off.
at 1411 10th Street, Suite A. We're in the same building as Patsy's house, right behind IHOP on 10th Street between Holiday and Broad.
Okay. Well, we need to take another quick break, but whenever we come back, we're going to talk about Feel the Heat. Yes, it is that time to talk about the big event we've been telling you about this entire program and how you can get involved. It's a chili, bean, and salsa cook-off, a competition. You don't want to miss it, so stick around. We'll be right back with the latest. Welcome back to Inside Texoma. We are talking about the Rainbow House, really right here in Wichita Falls, but it services 3 different counties in our area, so a lot going on, really changing lives and families, and of course helping children who are in abuse situations or maybe neglected situations, and working with the CPS, of course, to give them the very best. Now, we were talking about a big event coming up this Saturday, March the 16th. It's called Feel the Heat.
Yes, it's a chili bean and salsa competition. There's going to be an obstacle course and a motorcycle fun run. There'll be food and entertainment out there. The competition, we're going to have a lot of different categories for the chili. We're also going to need vendors, competitors, and we still have openings for volunteers. So give me a call. We can use your help out there.
Absolutely. And this is going to take place where and what time?
It is going to be at the Wichita Falls Traders Market. That's on Shepherd Access Road between the Blind Pig and Fred's Catfish. It'll be, the event itself will run from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We'll be open starting about 7 o'clock for setup.
And does this cost you anything to get in, or how does that work for the public?
What it is, they can either they can purchase a tasting kit if they want to go around and vote on the different chilies, beans and salsa, or they can come out and visit the different vendors. They don't have to pay to do that. They can also pay to get some really good pulled pork sandwiches and chips that Doug Green and Raymond Nipper of the Elks are going to be selling out there to raise money for Rainbow House as well.
Oh, that's great. So lots of opportunities, of course. Come hungry. Is this a great family event? Bring the kiddos out there?
Absolutely. There will be lots of events out there for the kids to participate into, and we'll also have some gypsy tribal belly dancers out there to do an exhibition.
So can you tell us a little bit about them? Is that going to be taking place all day, or is that just a certain time frame?
That will be a certain time. We have yet to determine exactly what time. I'm thinking we're going to probably do that around noon.
Okay.
That would be Miss Pacheco is running that class, and she's going to do the exhibition to encourage the women of Wichita Archer and Clay out there to go out and get in shape. It'll be a wonderful exhibition.
And this is, of course, spring break weekend for a lot of kids. You know, that week they're going to be out of school, most of them starting tomorrow. So a great event to, you know, kind of wrap it up, get your kids, your family out there and support such a wonderful organization. You said all of the money raised, every dollar of it goes back into helping these kids.
Every single penny.
I love it. The motorcycle fun run, too, do they need to sign up for that now?
They can do that now, which we would love to do to give us an idea of how many are participating, but they're very welcome to show up that morning, too. The registration will start at 9 a.m. out at the Wichita Traders Market. And the first bike out will be at 10. The last bike in will be at 2. There will be prizes for the best hand. Some friends of ours are going to be running a poker run for that. The motorcycle fun run single rider will be $10, and if there's double rider, it'll be $15.
Oh, that's
we'll
good.
also have beautiful T-shirts out there at the event. They'll be $10 each.
Again, a lot of different ways to get involved. I know I keep saying that, but I mean, it's everything from volunteering, donations, if you'd like to just give, if you want to go stop by the Rainbow House. I'm sure she'd appreciate your help. There's this big event, Feel the Heat. Is this probably your biggest event of the year? How important is this Saturday?
This is very important because this is where we're going to get a major source of our funding for the year.
If you'd like to learn more, are there ways on Facebook or anything for Rainbow House to get involved?
Absolutely. We have a Facebook page. It's Rainbow House WF at facebook.com, or you can go to call me on email, or it's www.rainbowhousewf@yahoo.com, or just call me or come by.
Any way that's easier for you, right? You can come and help Terry out. Well, thank you so much for being here this morning. We appreciate the look inside Rainbow House and really all it does for our community.
Thank you, Ashley.
Absolutely. Thank you, Texoma, for joining us this morning. Remember, you can always find much more about the Rainbow House or any of our programs on our website as well, newschannel6now.com. Well, we hope that you have a wonderful day, and as always, we'll see you back here next Sunday morning for another look inside Texoma.